You're gonna get medieval on your hiney. And this is Brimstone Brawler. And just imagine a medieval game in the Power Stone vein. And pretty much you have this game. It's early access, it's free to play. It's a cool idea for a brawler. All characters have their own game style, like they have some similarities between each other. For example, like all characters have like these cooldowns, kind of like Power Stone, kind of like, you know, like an RPG element to it, just to prevent like spamming and to balance this fighter out. It's more like a platformer fighter because some of the stages have like boxes and I think stairs. I didn't try all the stages, but yeah, there's a lot of different characters to go through, and they don't really play like necessarily what you expect the characters to play as. So like in the case of the bomber though, I mean the character seems to throw bombs and grenades, something like that. The Wrath throws like this blue beams and like blasts, which I didn't expect. I think it slashes with its scythe as well. The Witch Hunter is sort of like a straightforward character, so dodging, shooting, and aims his crossbow. Then there's a Countess, which is elevated by Vine, so I just assumed she was like Poison Ivy in the medieval ages, and she has like vine bombs and like throwing knives. There's a Butcher who seems kind of like on paper as the Witch Hunter, but he throws his cleaver and his sort of meat chops, sorry, his like butchered meat and twirls, so he's sort of like a mishmash. Then there's an Engineer who's sort of like a straightforward like brawler. She has projectile charges and like these 360 spins and other spin attacks or swing attacks. She's kind of like the Wrath in that sense. Then there's a Vampire, which is kind of like the Countess, but mixed in with like the Engineer or Butcher, but with a better long range attack. So they have similarities, these different characters. Then there's like a Battle Priest who's sort of like a holy priest, but you know, a lot more physical. Has a shield, holy protective attack. Then there's like a Plague Doctor, which feels like the evil version of the Battle Priest, but then with better projectile range like the Vampire or Countess. Then there's a Boxer, like there's quite a lot of characters in this. Feels like Balrog from Street Fighter 2, where he punches and he has a rising uppercut, or like Little Mac from Smash Brothers. Then there's the Alchemist who throws yellow and red potions. I have no idea what the potions do, which I'm going to get at later. The Traveler seems to be fairly unique. There's like an orc character. I didn't get to play as it. The orc character is not ready, but the Traveler seems pretty unique. It has like this demonic tentacles coming out of her traveling bag, and you can like travel on those tentacles, get around, and there's like different slashes, and then the tentacles like sort of come out of her travel bag and like sort of attacks the person. There is deathmatch and brawl modes available at present, but this game is in early access, and it kind of feels in some ways in early access. Like the music's pretty much there, just sort of like the teeny gritty details, and then you could see like some of the levels aren't there. As I said, some of the characters aren't there, but it seems pretty polished, pretty realized. The concept seems cool. I don't know if this is sort of like Shrek Super Slime now that I think about it, but in medieval times with a dash of like Power Stone. The biggest problem with this game is there's no community, unfortunately. Because it's free to play, I feel like people drop in, they see that there's like no one playing. Apparently at its peak it had 35 people playing. Now I've heard at its peak it's got 3 or 4 people playing, and I think that there's so much competition now, either in the fighting game genre or just in Steam or in video games in general, that like if you don't have a fully finished product straight ahead for people to play and they have to pay to play, I feel like the free-to-play might have been a mistake. I don't know if there was a history behind that, but it just makes it harder for people to jump in and like join the community when they see there's no community. It's harder for the community to build up. So whenever I tried to join an online game, no one was there to play against, so I just tried out all the characters and I stopped playing. Now, this seems like a dead game, sadly. is what I'm getting at. There's 8 stages. There's like manors, courtyards, stations, chambers, a gym, rooftops, ravines, but like everything's there. But because it's free to play, and even though I paid for the Founders Edition $13 for like later updates, I'm not sure if, you know, everyone will chip that $13. So if you have Power Stone, you probably love this. It looks like a lot of people are really loving this game, even though it's free to play. You know, there's a slight buy-in. As I said, $13. I think I may have got it on sale for $6. But it's a promising game if you play it with your friends. Like, you can still play with your friends. The game is totally playable. The music's polished. Everything is just, there's no online community right now. I would say like this is a 7.5 out of 10. It's something I'm wrong with that isn't Smash Brothers. It's not Power Stones. It's something a bit different. But with that said, I still kind of feel like the concepts are great, but it's just, it feels kind of generic, unfortunately. And with no story mode or anything, like, it's very easy to drop in and drop out right now. But give it a chance. I mean, it's doing something different, and I think it's worth supporting if the community can be built from here, because it has a lot of potential, but sadly there's so much competition in the fighting genre. So keep on firing up your brimstones and brawl away. Alright, bye.